So when we free ourselves from the shackles of this reality, from the control, from the current state of consciousness that we're in, the so-called 3D world, when we free ourselves and we move on our evolutionary path into higher states of consciousness, what we also do is the considerations and the way we approach the aspects of our life all changes. Everything changes. So everything actually becomes quite inverted. So let me give the example of how you would previously, in the current reality, approach, let's say, your vocation, your career, your job. Different people would refer to it in different ways, or even the passion that you've monetized. You will perhaps consider, what is the earnings, what's the energy, what's the skill level you need, do you love it, is there a market for it? And then you'd start a career or a business or even an employment around that. And that's all very much changing. And a lot of you who would resonate with my thought processes and my teachings are already on the path where you don't buy into a captive, controlled reality. But here's how the consideration, for instance, will change, or is changing in the 5D, in a more multidimensional reality. Is you may look at not only what are the considerations for your vocation or how you spend your time, your service in this world. You will literally just be more tuned in into your guidance, into your purpose, into your service in this world. And the skills so much that you may need may not be so much of a consideration, because naturally, if you actually follow your complete bliss, like Joseph Campbell has stated always, is that follow your bliss, and you will find that in that bliss, the skills you needed will either come, or in this new reality, it will also appear. You will attract maybe people, maybe things, maybe situations where you can either collaborate or where those skills are in. It's not a consideration, but it becomes less of a can I do it? Life becomes less restrictive because you follow your true path. There's also, of course, there's many things that can happen. It's not just follow your true path and it appears, but you may find that you're more in a flow state, you're more in a trusting state, you're more in a collaborative state, you're more in an open-hearted space. So what happens is when you're on your service path, the things unfold by itself, and you have less restrictions about how you need to express it. Even the money, although even if you call it or you see it as energy, which is very important, it's very much a part of the consideration. Instead of having the consideration of that will make money or that will be a good secure income, as you go into the service state, and as you go into a more mature evolutionary state, money doesn't become the consideration or the constraint. It just becomes a play. It's part of the consciousness. It's part of the whole picture of what you're creating. It's less of a hard and fast consideration. So for instance, another thing is also, for instance, physical health. In the current reality, we may have considerations like our wife, or being physically healthy may be to be disease-free or to lead a quality life, or to, tap into a state of wellness, to enjoy things better, to be independent in our lifestyle. And those are all definitely still considerations, and that may unfold in the current reality, in having a healthy diet, being active, getting enough rest, all of the normal things. And in a different reality, in a higher state of consciousness, it may be that you just see that as part of the vessel, your physical body as a consciousness, as a vessel of consciousness, as something that you have to be honored, to be listened to to love. And in that state, when you're pure in that state of honoring, loving, listening to something, the other things naturally unfold. You don't have to convince yourself so much. You don't have to try to, stay healthy so much, because it actually comes from a higher point, from a different perspective. Your driver, so to speak, is different, because you're doing it from a state of inclusion. You're doing it from a state of love, even for and total self-honoring, rather than setting goals or setting tasks, or showing up in a way that you want to tick all the boxes. Everything changes. I can have many discussions even around considerations for relationships, whether that's intimate or just your everyday relationships, how you approach goals or tasks. Everything changes. So I've just touched on a few things here, but it's literally that you do things from a different viewpoint. You create from a place of mastery, and the rest falls in place. You create from a place of true from a true master, and then the actual considerations will naturally form in place. So it's never about skipping that. It's just about you approach it totally different. You will find everything changes as you move into these high states of consciousness. Anyway, lovely speaking to you, and hit the like button, please subscribe, and chat to you very soon. Bye for now.